Welcome back to the Sassy Chef. Today we're going to talk about Now let's go figure out how to cook a good chicken breast. Welcome to Sassy Chef. Let's have fun cooking healthy meals with fresh ingredients and cooking fast. If you like us, subscribe and share our videos. And remember what I say, garlic with everything. Let's go.
Sassy. He's so
Okay,
sassy.
today we're talking about chicken breast. And there's nothing worse than a breast going to waste. The first step is to buy the right chicken. You got to buy the right meat. Now, not too long ago, I went into a meat store. You think, okay, this is the meat store. Yeah, they got good meat, right? Don't take that for granted. And these breasts were big, okay? And just like in Mother Nature, if the breast looks too big, it probably ain't natural. It was probably pumped full of water, antibiotics, growth hormones. I doubt this chicken could even walk with the breasts the size that we saw. I brought them home and we cooked it, and it just didn't taste right. There's no texture. Again, buy the right meat. Very important. We typically like to buy our meat either at a local farmer's market or down at a local farm called the Flying W Ranch. And again, you want local meat. It doesn't have to be certified organic, but you want it grass-fed, free range. We want happy chicken. Happy chicken tastes better. Nope. Today, unfortunately, we are cooking some store-bought chicken. But what we did buy was a organic smart chicken raised without antibiotics. Go imagine. Go figure that one. Free range. This was a happy chicken. And no water added. Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of commercial, they call them chicken growers, do. They add water to the chicken to make it what you think is juicier and what you also think weighs more. So none of that going on here. So this first step applies to really any meat. And I don't think people talk about this enough. You should always dry your meat. You don't want to cook a wet or water-saturated piece of meat. And a lot of people think, well, if I let it dry, then it won't be as juicy. That's not true. These chicken breasts are still juicy. The outsides are dry. And what that does is it opens up all that porosity is opened up now to flavor. So at this point, we can start to prepare the chicken. Now, what I've done here is gotten out some of my favorite things to add to the chicken. What do I say? Yeah, garlic on everything. So these are some things that you can use to cook a chicken breast to give it some flavor. Drizzle on some balsamic dressing, sesame seed oil. Love that. Soy sauce, some salt, just some simple salt. And today we're going to try, this is an experiment. Mom's coming over. We're going to try a garlic brownstone mustard chicken. And we'll see how that works out. Okay, so at this point, this stuff's I've let dry for maybe an hour or so. I don't always do that. Sometimes I just pat it down with a paper towel to get it dry. Again, at this point, if you wanted to, soak this in some kind of what's that called, Sassy Wife? When you soak meat.
Marinade.
So just sprinkle a little bit of salt on that. And so the meat's dry, got a little bit of salt on it. If you wanted to marinate it in something, those pores are now open to absorb the flavor. One of my favorite things to do is to cut a lime and drizzle that over the chicken. Sometimes let it sit in that because that acid will break down the toughness of the chicken. And you can either put that on before you cook or in the cooking process. So at this point, again, we're not going to marinate it. We're not going to over season it. We're going to throw it into a pan and give it that great chicken flavor. So the first thing we need to do to cook a delicious, juicy chicken breast is to sear it in a cast iron skillet. Now you can cook this in any kind of skillet, But for me, the cast iron tends to put the best sear on this thing. So, but when you sear a piece of meat, and again, any of your basic meats, a good chicken breast, a steak, even a nice thick pork chop, you should try to sear the outside of the chicken, and that's going to sear some flavor onto it as well as sear the juices into it. So the first step is to get the pan hot, and you have to have a hot pan to sear anything. So right now we're letting that skillet get warm with nothing in it, just a plain old hot skillet. Now that the pan's coming up to temperature, I'm going to turn on that 600 CFM exhaust fan we talked about in our previous videos. Yeah, it's a little oversized, but what the heck? We're going to put in a generous amount of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so it looks like the oil may be up to temperature here, but to verify that, let's put a little garlic in, right? Garlic with everything. Okay, so you hear that sizzle. That tells me that my temperature is where I want it. Okay, I got to put my splash guard on there so my wife doesn't shoot me, because I don't want to make a big mess. And like I said before, if you can't take a little smoke, you can't sear a good chicken breast. So we've got some smoke, but that 600 CFM fan is really handling that. I just put the mustard in with the garlic. That's my big experiment. And we will put our breasts in. And once those breasts are in, we're not going to play with them. Worst thing you can do is try to sear a nice chicken breast and then start playing with it. You're not going to get the sear you want. So again, generous amount of smoke. Don't be afraid though. So I will turn it down a smidge, but it's not because I'm scared of that smoke. Okay, so we're going to let this chicken cook on each side about 3 minutes. We're going to flip it over. And a chicken breast is like any other piece of meat. You don't want to overcook it. For some reason, people feel like, well, the chicken's got to be done, so we're just going to cook it, and it won't matter how long we cook it. But like a good steak, if you overcook a good steak, you might as well throw it out. Okay, we've got about 3 minutes into our sear. Let's flip it over. It's not quite as dark as I usually like. You're starting to get a little bit of a dark spot on that piece, but yeah, let's get that temperature back up so we can get that sear on the back side. Look at that smoke. That's what I call flavor. So we're at about 3 minutes on that back side. Let's flip these bad boys over, and you can see we got a little bit better sear on this one. I'm gonna cook it for another minute on the other side, and then the sear part of this is done. So our choices here are to cook it the rest of the way in the oven, to put it out on the grill, maybe slather it with some barbecue sauce, or to just finish it off right here in the frying pan. But at this point, the searing process is just that. It's a process to sear those juices in the chicken breast, because how many hundreds of dry chicken breasts have we had? These breasts will be so juicy, yeah, it'll melt in your mouth. Okay. So here's the chicken breast. the perfect sear on it. Okay. So we're going to turn that off. Try not to burn your finger. And we're going to just let that cook right in the pan, because that's going to get that chicken the rest of the way done. Let's see how it came out. Okay, so there you have it. A garlic mustard chicken fillet. And look at the juice. This thing is so juicy, it's making me cry. Look at that. Look at that juice. Okay. And there we go. Mustard garlic chicken breast. Okay, there you have it. A mustard garlic chicken breast. Look at that. Look at the juices just come off of that chicken. And that's because we seared it. If you don't sear that and you overcook it, you're going to have a dry piece of chicken. Now when you put that with those carrots that we just threw in the steamer and that salad, you've got one healthy meal. So that's it for the Sassy Chef. Out. Please subscribe and share all of our sassy videos.